Hi, this is Will Wilde, and this is going to be a video about the differences between the Wilde tuning and Hohner's new Pentaharp tuning. I've had a fair few questions from people on the channel about the Pentaharp and how it compares to my Wilde tuning for playing blues and blues rock in particular. So I'm going to try and answer some of those questions here. So you heard me there using my Wilde tuning. This one's in the key of A. In the Seidel 1847 classic model. So this is the harp that I play most of the time. It's the result of many years of experimenting with different tunings and trying to basically find the ultimate tuning for playing blues rock and creating the sounds that I want to create. It was inspired by a couple of Brendan Powers tunings, the Power Draw and the Power Bender. It's fairly similar to those. All of the draw notes on this bend. But the goal really when creating this was to find a tuning that gave me as many notes as possible, all of the notes that are needed for minor pentatonic and major pentatonic and blues scale, because let's face it, those are the scales that we use most of the time in second position. And most importantly, it was about trying to make those notes not just available, but make them as expressive as possible. So, for example, the thing that always frustrated me most about Richter tuning is when you're playing in second position, your root note is, of course, draw 2. You put lots of expression on that. You can bend it so you can scoop and add vibrato to it. But the octave up from there is blow 6, which isn't a bendable note, so you can't add much expression. You can't scoop, you can't put very much vibrato on it. So with my tuning, I made sure that the root note in second position is always a bendable draw note. And the same with the fifth. So you can get a complete blues scale and major pentatonic scale and various other scales too on this harp, with the majority of notes being bendable draw notes, and you can bend them all and add vibrato to them. So that's kind of the philosophy behind my tuning. I've made other videos that go more in depth. I'll put a link to those up here. So the Pentaharp, this just arrived today. It says on the box here, the Pentaharp simplifies the harmonica by giving players easy access to one of the most useful scales in rock and blues music without the need for advanced techniques. They're classing just basic bending as an advanced technique here. The tonal layout is the blues scale, which is a minor pentatonic scale with the added blue note or flat 5. Create expressive melodies and solos quickly, easily, and never play a wrong note. That's what it says. So basically, this one's in E minor, and it's designed to be played in first position. So your root note is blow 1, which isn't a bendable root note, so you can't put a lot of expression on that. You can't bend or scoop on it. And the same with the root note in all the octaves. So you've got blow 1, blow 4, blow 7, and blow 10. And none of those bend, so in my opinion that makes them not very expressive. So the point of this is you can get a blues scale simply by going blow draw, 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 all the way up. So that's cool, you've got all of the notes there as natural blow and draw notes without needing to bend anything. But that is kind of a downfall as well, in my opinion. I'd experimented with a lot of tunings before arriving at the Wilde tuning, and some of those had just all of the notes of the scale laid out there as natural notes like this. The problem I have with that is that when you don't have to bend to get any of the notes, you really don't have a lot of character or expression. To me, the blues and the harmonica, just in general, is all about bending, you know, all that soulful expression and kind of vocal-like quality in the sound comes from having to bend to get some of the notes, and being able to bend, you know, the root, the fifth, the third, flat 7 in particular. And on this, you can't bend your root in any octave. You can bend that minor third a little bit. You can bend that a semitone down to a second. But you're still having to switch to blow to go to your root, which makes it less fluid sounding than this or at the standard harp. So with the Pentaharp, you've got your flat 5 as a unique standalone draw note, which is kind of cool, I suppose. But then you've got your 5, 5th degree of the scale, as a blow note. So you can't add that vibrato to the 5 on here, and you can't bend the 5 down to the flat 5 because it's two separate holes. And for me, the whole thing about blues really is being able to wail on that 5 and bend it down to the flat 5, and all of the kind of bluesy expression comes from that tension and release of bending down to the flat 5 and letting it come up to the 5, and you don't have that here because they're in two separate holes. Okay, so you can hear that obviously Wilde tuning with more of the notes. In fact, every note of the blues scale on this tuning is a draw note except for the 4th degree of the scale. So you get a lot more expression on the bends and a lot more fluidity between the notes. Also, you're still able to get all that kind of classic second position stuff that you do on a standard Richter harp in Wilde tuning, and it allows you to get the same kind of stuff in the upper octave too. So with Wilde tuning, it's kind of, you don't really lose anything from what you have with Richter. It just opens up more possibilities in the upper octave. With the Pentaharp, it makes playing the blues scale very, very easy. Blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, draw, draw, going up, but you lose a lot of expression and you lose all of the stuff you would normally do in, you know, when you're playing in Richter. For example, the 4 and 5 draw trill would be, you'd have to blow in and out with this. Whereas with Wilde tuning, it's just like on the same as Richter. Holes 1 to 5 on Wilde tuning are exactly the same as Richter. You also lose that 4 and 5 double stop wail that everyone loves, that you get with Richter tuning and Wilde tuning. On the Pentaharp, that would require you to blow 3 and draw 3 at the same time. So obviously that's not possible. And just finding your way around the Pentaharp isn't particularly intuitive. It is if you're just following the scale. Couldn't be any easier. You're just going blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, draw. But once you start playing licks and wanting to move around more freely, Nothing is in the same place as you know where it is on standard tuning. So you really have to relearn a lot of stuff. With the Wilde tuning, like I said, 1 to 5 are standard. So there's nothing to relearn there. And then the upper octave lays out just like the lower octave again. So holes 6, 7, and 8 on the Wilde tuning are just the same as holes 2, 3, and 4. So anything you do down here, you can do up here with exactly the same breath pattern, same muscle memory, the bends are in the same places. So it doesn't take that much getting used to. It's very intuitive. The other downside to this tuning is it's tuned to give you that blues scale, so minor pentatonic plus the flat 5. But you can't get the major pentatonic. You can play it in the relative major key to get you know the relative major, but you can't switch between major and minor pentatonic within the same key on this. Not without overblows anyway. Whereas with my harp, it's just like with Richter. You can very easily switch between major and minor pentatonics and the full major scale and full minor scale, and you know a bunch of other scales too. So it's very, very limited, this Pentaharp tuning. I'm sure there's plenty of cool things that people will find to do with it. Every tuning, every new configuration offers certain possibilities that other tunings don't. So you know, I'm not writing this off. There's certainly good things that can be done with it. So to summarize, if you're looking for a tuning that gives you all the notes of the blues scale, makes it as easy as possible without having to learn to bend, then the Pentaharp could be the tuning that you're looking for. If, however, you're looking for all the notes of the blues scale without overblows, plus other notes as well, and you want to be able to put maximum expression on those notes, maximum vibrato, bending and scooping, so you can really wail and get that rock guitar like expression, then Wilde tuning, in my opinion, obviously I'm biased, but Wilde tuning is still king in my opinion. So I hope that answers some of the questions that people had. I'll put a link down below where you can find my Wilde Tuned harps. And thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Cheers.